for Game 2 between the Blue Jays and the Diamondbacks. You are watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. Chase Field, the roof open again. Another great April day and evening. And George Springer itching to be back on the active roster. Hopefully we'll be back when the homestand begins. In the meantime, he is spreading good vibes, spreading positive energy, trying to keep the boys loose and upbeat. They need it. They need it. They need to be loose and upbeat. They need a W. Miles Straw did what he could last night, came on after Dalton Varsho left the game, and Miles Straw hit a home run, had a single, and also a foul ball that was the second hardest hit ball of his career. He had 3 balls hit last night at 100 miles an hour or greater. Boy, does John Schneider like Miles Straw. He's in the 8th spot. You saw Guerrero's in there. The finger is okay. They will face a guy who is in his 8th season with the Diamondbacks, a pretty accomplished right-hander in Zach Gallen.
Gallen is 30 years old. He was a 3rd-round pick of the Cardinals back in 2016. And he debuted with the Miami Marlins in 19. He was dealt to the Marlins from St. Louis and then on to the desert here. And he has had some good seasons with Arizona. He was an all-star in 23, but he had a bit of a setback last year in 33 starts. That ERA was just under 5. Off to a decent start this year, but the strikeouts are down. He does spin the baseball. We'll see lots of sliders to those right-handed Blue Jays hitters that have given them so much trouble lately. Defensively, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. makes his return to the Diamondbacks this season. That's good news from Torey Lovullo earlier this week. Alec Thomas and Corbin Carroll will support him in the outfield and on the infield. 35-year-old veteran, 14th season for Nolan Arenado and his 10 Gold Gloves. Perdoma's at short again, Vargas at second. The youngster Jose Fernandez at first, and Adrian Del Castillo gets just his 4th start of the season behind the plate.
A remarkably quick recovery from a torn ACL on September the 1st. So basically 7.5 months. That can usually be 8, 9, 10 months, but Gurriel coming back very quickly. A couple of rehab games in the lineup, hitting cleanup in left field here tonight. And here is Nathan Lucas to lead it off for the Blue Jays. Lucas had a base hit as a pinch hitter last night. And if you saw Blue Jays Central, the report from Shai and Arden, or if you follow either or both of them on X, as you should, you know what Lucas told our little group before the game today, that he has been dealing with vertigo. In spring training, originally thought it was allergies, but then they get to Toronto for those few days before the season starts. No pollen in Toronto when the snow was on the ground in March, so he got further tests, and that's when they settled on vertigo. He's had some dizziness, some vision issues as he grounds one through the right side, a base hit. Was on some meds, they worked, they didn't, and then had a full battery of tests here in Phoenix yesterday. A specialist in vertigo, new meds, and he told us yesterday and today have been the best he has felt in several weeks. And he said things like, you know, it's easier to hit when you can see the ball well. And he was having some vision issues, especially pitches that moved, breaking balls, change-up splitters, whatever. Ernie Clement up there, first pitch swinging. And a fly ball to right field. Carroll battling the sun a little bit, but makes the catch, 1 down. It has never been discussed that Lucas would go on the IL. And again, the doctor yesterday told Lucas and the medical staff of the Blue Jays they feel he's on the backside of it now, that it is getting better. He is feeling better. So maybe that would explain why he hasn't looked like himself and why he's been swinging at pitches. Now, he always chases a bit, but he's been chasing a lot this year. The contact has not been good. Maybe this explains a good deal of that. Here's Guerrero.
Well, we certainly hope that is the case for Nathan. We know that he has not been himself, and you can attribute it to just a slow start. It happens to players sometimes, but this might put a little bit of a punctuation mark in answering the questions, at least, as to why he's had such a slow start. But when he made that comment about seeing the many baseballs, I mean, yes, he was joking, but at the same time, he talked about tracking the baseball. When it got close to him, that's when things became unclear. Same in the outfield. He was going down chasing up a fly ball in the outfield. As it got closer to him, it became more unclear. So hopefully he solved these problems and back and help the Blue Jays again.
Guerrero's got a base hit into right center. Lucas around second on his way to third, and it's runners on the corners with 1 out.
Well, Vladdy expanded the zone on the first pitch slider down and away, but he gets this one and shoots it the other way. This is what you have to do with these guys if you think they're going to be staying away. Let the ball travel, let it get deeper, stay behind it, use the whole field. Vladdy will take that knock, and as many Blue Jays base runners can do, go first to third.
So they are threatening early, and here is Jesus Sanchez hitting in the cleanup spot again, 263 with a couple of homers. And he lines one into center for a base hit. Lucas in to score, Guerrero to second, and the Blue Jays have an early lead.
Well, this has looked better already. Nathan Lucas leading things off with that base hit. Vladdy staying the other way on that slider down and away, and Sanchez lining this ball right back through the box into center field. We have seen him handle fastballs very well.
So an early 1-0 lead, and here's Eloy Jimenez getting the start at DH tonight, batting fifth, the spot Lenyn Sosa had been in each of the last two nights. It kind of feels like right now for John Schneider, Joe, it's a bit of an either-or between Sosa and Jimenez, although Sosa can certainly play second base if Ernie moves to third, that sort of thing. But just the third start for Jimenez, who joined the team after George Springer went on the IL. 1-1 the count.
Well, we saw Eloy in spring training consistently hitting the ball hard. Got off to a decent start in AAA Buffalo before he was called up, and they could certainly need this injection right now.
Checks the swing, and the ball does not bounce that far away from the catcher, Adrian Del Castillo. 2-1 the count as Gallen, and he will do this often, going to his card. He's a real thinker out there, and he wants to know what the game plan is. Sometimes he'll call his own pitches, so he wants to know what their numbers, their analytics tell them about throwing to Jimenez in this kind of a situation. Taken outside. The Blue Jays have been a big chase team so far this year, the third highest chase rate in baseball, meaning swinging at pitches outside the zone. Jimenez has laid off a couple of pitches here in this at bat.
A lot of four-seam fastballs and sliders to righties.
And then Jimenez takes a breaking ball in there for a strike. That's the slower breaking ball, the curve, and it is 3-2.
A little different look. The slower one, the slider's been a really good pitch. He's used it a lot. He's got a lot of swing and miss with that pitch early this season. You saw the location of it to Vladdy, down and away. That's where he wants to be with right-handed hitters.
The hot hitting Andres Jimenez is on deck, hitting in the sixth spot again. First the 3-2 to Eloy Jimenez, and he chased it. A slider down and away, and Gallen made the right pitch in the right spot at the right moment to get him.
It's been such a good pitch for Gallen this season. Looks like a strike a lot of the way, and Eloy commits early.
Back to the card for the information on Andres Jimenez, a guy who is 5 for 7 in his career off Gallen. Fastball in there, 0-1. Jimenez went 1 for 4 with a double last night, also stole a base, and you can see the numbers. Off to a really good start offensively here this season. At the knees, says home plate umpire Jim Wolf, and it's 0-2. Max Scherzer ready to go. Again, back where it all began for Scherzer. First round pick by the Diamondbacks in 2006. Made his major league debut here in 2008. Swing and a miss. So Gallen gets a couple of big strikeouts to minimize the damage, but the Blue Jays do get the first run of the night. It started with a Nathan Lucas base hit. He's 2 for his last 2 now. Vladimir Guerrero moved him around to third, and Jesus Sanchez drove him in. It's 1-0 Blue Jays early. To the bottom of the first, and a look at the lineup for the hometown Arizona Diamondbacks, who are hot, 12-8 on the season. Nolan Arenado is hot, Hit a home run last night, hit 2 Monday against the Orioles, and against, as we mentioned earlier, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., the former Blue Jay, making his season debut tonight. They will face Max Scherzer, making his 4th start of the regular season.
Max is coming off another rough one. It was against the Twins. He just pitched into the 3rd inning, allowing 8 runs, including a couple of home runs through just 68 pitches. Not just 4 swings and misses. And remember, that was coming on the heels of just 2 innings against the Dodgers when he left that game with his forearm tightness. Fastball hasn't necessarily been the issue. It's been the spin, the sliders, and the cutters that he really left a lot in the middle of the plate.
So location the biggest problem.
Absolutely.
For him.
With the breaking pitches.
Ketel Marte to lead it off. He is DHing again tonight. A 3-time All-Star. He's been dealing with a back issue, which is why he is the DH now for the 3rd consecutive game for the Diamondbacks. Jammed him, and it's popped up for Jimenez out in shallow left, and that's a dangerous hitter, retired for out number 1.
1 down, 26 to go. Defensively behind Scherzer tonight. Jesus Sanchez is in left, and Miles Straw gets the start to replace Dalton Varsho. He's got some gold on his glove as well. Nathan Lucas, Ian Wright, Okamoto and Jimenez on the left side, Clement and Guerrero on the right side, and Tyler Heineman back there again for Scherzer, trying to get things straight.
1 down. Here's Corbin Carroll. Swings through a high fastball, 0-1. Carroll went 1 for 4 with a walk last night, scored a run, drove in a run. There's a changeup from Scherzer, taken low by Carroll, 1-1. Max spent 2 seasons with the Diamondbacks, 2008, 2009. It was involved in a 3-team deal after the 2009 season between the Diamondbacks, the Tigers, and the Yankees. Curtis Granderson was in that deal. Edwin Jackson was in that deal. Ian Kennedy was in that deal. And Max Scherzer got traded to the Tigers in that deal. He had been a starter for them for about 1.5 years. Wasn't quite yet the Max Scherzer he would grow into in his prime, of course. But this is where it all began.
Do you think he thought that many years ago he'd be back pitching here in a Blue Jays uniform? How do you predict the future? Still doing it at 41 years young.
And 2 strikeouts away from becoming the 11th pitcher in Major League history to record 3,500 strikeouts.
That is a lot of sending batters back to their dugout. Elite stuff.
Close, but no, and it's a 1-out walk for Carroll. Well, Joe, you were talking about Scherzer last time out, struggling with the location of the breaking balls and the cutters. Here it is.
So there it is, and a lot of the damage is done too. You see the slugging percentage at 1,000. 4 home runs. We saw a little slider stay middle or down and in to Cody Clemens. He golfed it out of there. Another cutter that hung, and that's when you're not spinning the ball real well. You better at least locate it where it's away from danger.
Runner is going. The throw down by Heineman is not in time, and Corbin Carroll immediately steals second base.
Well, it didn't take Carroll long at all. He may have had a little tell on Max, but he was gone, off and running. Not much else that Heineman could have done. Good accurate throw.
So runner at second, 1 out for Perdomo. Very good player, but off to a slow start this year, hitting just 197. And he lines it into shallow center, just over the head of Jimenez, and just like that, the Diamondbacks have tied it up.
Well, it didn't take long. It looks like they're trying to go up and away with this fastball, and it's more up and in, but Perdomo does a nice job staying inside that baseball. Didn't hit it real hard. He got hit on him a bit, but enough to drop it into shallow center.
Yeah, it came in 21 miles an hour harder than it went out, but got just enough. The stolen base proves to be big already. And it's tied at 1, and here is Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Again, his regular season debut, just back from a torn ACL, a very fast recovery for Gurriel. A very popular player here, just as he was, of course, in his time in Toronto. his numbers from a year ago. He was red hot in August, then got hurt on the 1st of September. And Torey Lovullo has put him right in the cleanup spot and right in left field. Maybe they would like to DH him, but Ketel Marte needs that spot right now. You see the brace that Gurriel has on the right knee.
And he's a guy that will sit on spin, so if Scherzer's having trouble with the breaking ball, be very careful against Gurriel.
Fastball, and it's fouled off, 2-1.
Max will use all 4 pitches against the lefties, the righties, a lot of 4-seam sliders.
Perdomo at first, being held by Guerrero. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. now 32 years of age, 5 seasons with the Blue Jays. He begins tonight his 4th season with the Diamondbacks. Big lead for Perdomo, dancing around. And he draws another throw, and they got him. Oh, wait, it's out of the glove of Guerrero, so safe at first is Perdomo. You saw the out call from Roberto Ortiz. They had him.
Well, Perdomo was bouncing around trying to get that good jump, and Max did a great job by holding on to the baseball, and he caught him while he was hopping. He is out easily if Vladdy catches that baseball.
Yeah, never really squeezed it. It popped out as soon as he got in there. So that's 2 disengagements. A 2-1 pitch on the way, and ball 3. That one just off the outside corner. Scherzer has fallen behind Gurriel, 3-1. Fastball and another foul off. It's full.
Well, they're staying hard against Gurriel, and I think they know him as well as we do up here. They know his penchant for sitting on spin. Max is staying hard with the fastball against him.
Let's see if Perdomo's running. He is. 3-2, fouled back. So the at-bat continues. A run in, a man on, 1 out. And it's 1-1 here in the bottom of the 1st. Varsho looking on, not in the starting lineup tonight. Perdomo goes again, and it is popped up. Very shallow right field. Can anybody get there? Guerrero does! What a great over-the-shoulder catch by Guerrero down the line.
Nathan Lucas, playing deep in right field, was not going to get to this baseball, so Vladdy just continued to go after it. He did the old over-the-shoulder catch. This is one of the toughest plays for a first baseman, going out straight out to the outfield. He's running with his back to the infield and has to find that baseball. Sticks his glove out, goes into a sliding catch. How about Tyler Heineman backing up at first base just in case they got a shot to double him off?
That's a big red star there for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and a big second out for Max Scherzer. Vladdy's still huffing and puffing a little bit. 2 down, and now Scherzer will face Adrian Del Castillo, the catcher tonight for the Diamondbacks. And a guy who in his last game on Wednesday against the Orioles had a home run and drove in 5. More of a DH than a catcher, really, but with former Blue Jay Gabriel Moreno on the IL, Del Castillo getting more of an opportunity to catch. That's just inside, and it's another hitter's count, this time 2-0.
He'll do most of the catching against right-handed starters. Fisher was the opener last night, but they knew Eric Lauer was coming in following him.
Dangerous hitter. 2-1. He does not get cheated. That's a full swing. Second round pick in 2021.
it's safest to stay away from this left-handed hitter. Handles the ball in very well. Middle in.
Breaking ball fouled off third base side, 2-2. The Diamondbacks are dealing with some injuries as well, but guys like Del Castillo, Ildemaro Vargas getting a lot of playing time for some of the injured regulars, and they have helped Torey Lovullo's team get off to a good start. Elevated fastball foul back.
You can see a lot of the high targets, especially to these left-handed batters, trying to keep it up in the zone. More left-handed hitters are better with the ball down.
Now this has been a bit of a strenuous first inning for Scherzer. 22 pitches and counting. No hard contact. The one base hit was when Perdomo got it in on the hands a bit and muscled it over the head of the shortstop Jimenez. But as so often is the case, a walk is part of the problem. A walk to Corbin Carroll, who immediately stole second, and then he comes in on the base hit. Perdomo's going to be on the move, and the 3-2 is hit down to Guerrero. A wicked hop. He dives to the bag, but not in time. The play is still live as Perdomo comes to third. Guerrero thought it was an out at first base. And the Blue Jays are going to challenge. What a wicked hop to begin the whole play.
Toronto is challenging the safe call at first base.
This almost took Vladdy's head off. It was a terrible hop, but when he picked up the baseball, he felt that he could beat Del Castillo to the bag. I thought he did with his headlong dive going right into the base, but he didn't turn around to look at the umpire for the call.
Ooh.
Just protecting himself right there, but he gloves it. He thinks he's got him, and it looks like he did, but then he just took it to the dugout. He didn't look at the umpire, so the runner went from second to third.
Because he was so sure he was out. And it looks like he is. Do you see the glove kind of compress there right before the foot hits the bag? It feels that way.
You know, the Blue Jays challenge room hasn't had a lot of work this year, but I think they'll get this one.
After review, the call to field's overturned. The runner is out. Toronto will retain their challenge.
I don't know that a first baseman can have a busier half inning than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just did. 1-1 at the end of an inning.
Night, but he's certainly glad that he got in that game in place of Dalton Varsho, because he comes up with a hard hit single, a pulled home run over the left field wall, a foul ball that's hit almost 110, one of the hardest hit balls of his career. And we're seeing a lot more of this pull power from Straw this season, thanks to some measurable swing changes that he has made. And one of the most notable differences is his swing length, which bat tracking tells us has gotten meaningfully longer. That's not like a good or a bad thing, but it tells us that Straw's trading some opposite field contact for pull side power. Another difference, his attack angle, that measures the vertical direction the bat is traveling as it hits the ball. You probably heard people call it getting under the baseball. An ideal attack angle is generally somewhere between 5 and 20 degrees, with Straw had typically averaged around 2 with Cleveland. Blue Jays have gone up to 9 this year, which is a meaningful difference. It's helping him lift more balls to left. Of course, Straw doesn't think about all of this in terms of numbers. He says that when he's in the game, his thought process is be aggressive, be on time, and swing hard.
Arden, thank you. Straw on deck right now. More on him when he comes up. But first, here's Kazuma Okamoto. And this is a guy in need of some solid contact. He had a very good first 4 games this year, but has gone ice cold since. He started 5 for 14 with a couple of homers. He is 8 for 55 since, or 6 for 45 more recently than that. No matter how you slice it, it's been a tough couple of weeks for Kazuma Okamoto. Takes the breaking ball from Gallen down low for ball 1.
And especially with what he's going to see from Gallen, he's going to have to take a page out of Vladdy's book. Really think middle the other way and stay on that slider out there. Use the whole field. You can't be in pull mode.
And he taps it the other way, and it'll get through.
That's not what I meant, Dan.
No.
But he'll take it.
We're not going to worry about the exit velocity on that one, but that's a base hit, and that's what he needed.
Well, you can see he's fooled and just trying to hold up on this breaking pitch down and away.
Good pitch by Gallen.
Yeah, and that's where he's going to live with that slider. These right-hand hitters are going to have to be disciplined.
So here's Straw. Again, came on for Varsho last night. Went 2 for 3 with a single and a homer. Shows bunt. Gets it down. And a sacrifice. Will it advance Okamoto to second? Obviously perfectly comfortable playing that style of game. John Schneider was asked about him before the game. And John Schneider loves Miles Straw. Loves him on the field, loves him in the clubhouse. And one of the things he said about him is nothing phases him. Like, you can tap him on the shoulder and said, okay, you got to go in and do this or do that or do this. And no matter what he's asked to do, he's just like, okay, Skip.
And I'm trying to get sold on the sacrifice bunt there, though, Dan. He's swinging the bat pretty well.
Yep.
It's the second inning of the game. It's a team that's having trouble scoring runs. I'm always a big fan of playing for that inning early in the game. You've got Tyler Heineman, the number 9 hitter, coming up, who can give you a good at-bat for certain, but I like Miles in that spot to maybe hit a ball hard somewhere. That's just me. I know they're struggling to score runs. The other option is you talk about trying to add on these single runs early.
Fastball from Gallen, pumped in for a strike, 1-1.
There's one adage that says if you play for 1 run, you might score 1 run.
You increase your chances of scoring 1, but you decrease your chances of scoring more than 1.
Sure. And the lineup is not, there's no George Springer at the top and the big boys up top. I get all that. So maybe they're trying to scratch and claw here and outpitch the other team. Miles can do what you want him to do. You want to drop a bunt, he drops a bunt.
Yep. His home run, the 109-mile-an-hour foul ball, like all the guys in the clubhouse knew about all this stuff. Miles was like the talk of the day. He was the flavor of the month in the clubhouse before the game today. Ground ball to the right side by Heineman. And a nice backhanded flip from Fernandez to Gallen covering. 2 down as Okamoto comes to third.
And we'll assume up here that John Schneider put on the bunt for Miles. That's not always the case. Sometimes we find out the next day that the hitter in that situation was thinking along the lines of a manager, said, I want to move the runner.
I'm going to guess he did it on his own.
Really? Eh?
I think he did it on his own.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
And then I'll have my discussion with Miles Straw.
Okay. Nathan Lucas had a base hit his first time up. Came in to score the run in the top of the first. Let's see if he can knock Okamoto in with 2 outs here in the top of the second.
Isn't that what makes this game so great, though?
Yep.
There are so many things that happen throughout the course of a game, strategy-wise, decision-wise, that one person might do it one way, another manager will say, no, I wouldn't do it that way, I'd go this route.
Foul it off, and it's 0-2. So Nathan Lucas is feeling better. We talked about the vertigo, but is feeling better. He's also home. He lives about 15 miles from here. Been sleeping in his own bed. Got his family with him the last couple of nights. Lifted in the air to shallow left center field, and it's going to hang up long enough for Alec Thomas to make the catch. And that'll be that. A runner left at third. Made his major league debut against the Houston Astros right here in this ballpark. He came on in relief and went 4 1/3 perfect innings. Faced 13 batters in his first ever major league outing, retired all of them, struck out 7 of them, and not surprisingly had some very good Max Scherzer energy. Look at him racing over to first.
Still has that energy.
Still has that energy at 41.
Look at that young man.
Listen to the names of some of the guys who were in the lineup for the Astros in that game. Miguel Tejada, Lance Berkman, and Jose Cruz Jr. were all Astros in that game. Max has been at this for a while, from the Diamondbacks to the Tigers, the Nationals, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Rangers, and now the Blue Jays.
Couple of World Series titles there, 19 with Washington, 23 with the Texas Rangers. Some good years obviously in Detroit back when he was paired with Justin Verlander.
Jose
never got to the big one in Detroit, never got to the winning a World Series, but 4 straight American League Central titles.
Some great teams. What's going on here? Now somebody dropped a ball on the field, so Jesus Sanchez had to go get it, and all pitchers like to stay in a rhythm. But Max Scherzer likes to stay in a rhythm more than most. He does not like interruptions, disruptions. Back at it here with an 0-1 count. Staying with the fastball. It's hit up the middle. Bit of a tricky hop for Clement, but he'll stay with it and make the play. 1 down.
Well, that's certainly a base hit many years ago, but the way defenses play now, they really play on the ground to pull, which means your shortstop and third baseman are in pull mode against a right-hand hitter, and that second baseman is right up the middle. Ball was right by Max, but right to Ernie.
So here's a matchup of a couple of guys who have been at this for a while, although Nolan Arenado is 6 years younger than Max Scherzer. When I looked up their head-to-head matchups, I was surprised these two had not met more. Arenado was 3 for 16 in his career against Scherzer, who is right on the corner and out in front 0-2.
That's pitching on the edges right there. If Max can keep that fastball on the edges and making that spin, get away from him.
Maybe tried to make the perfect pitch right there and just overcooked it a bit, as they say.
I've talked to Max a lot about that too, and he said in those situations, though, you are not going to miss on the plate. He is always going to miss by yanking it, if anything, and he's trying to get a chase there, but a little too far.
Ground ball to short. To his left, Jimenez scoops it up and throws him out. 2 down.
Pitchers will always want to err on the side of the caution. When you're ahead in the count, you're trying to get the chase, but the last thing you want to do is throw a perfect slider when you're up 0-2 or 1-2 and spin it and leave it hanging on the plate.
2 down and the base is empty for a hot hitter in Ildemaro Vargas, who is at second base tonight. He has played in 13 games this year, and he's got a hit in every one of them, hitting .380 on the season. Swings through a high fastball. 0-1.
Vargas has been at this a long time too. 34 years old. He's in his 10th season. Played for 5 different teams, but off to a great start here for Torrey Vallo's club.
A lot of value. Switch hitter, versatile guy defensively. Curveball outside, a ball and a strike. And a high strike. Jim Wolf thought about that for an extra beat and called it strike 2. Vargas does not challenge.
2 outs, second inning. I'm sure Vargas is saying it's just too early.
Look out, Dave McKay, the original Blue Jay and the BC native, still, well, he's been at this a long time. I mean, this is the 50th season of Blue Jays baseball, and he was in the lineup April 7th, 77. Longtime coach here in Arizona. Line drive to right field, and it's caught by Nathan Lucas as Max Scherzer has himself a 1-2-3, bottom of the second. It is tied at 1 going to the third. Ernie Clement is going to lead it off for the Blue Jays. The iconic home runs throughout the 50 seasons of the Blue Jays franchise. Now is your chance to have 5 of them all on one t-shirt. On May 11th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays legendary home runs t-shirt presented by Ryobi. Learn more at bluejays.com/tickets. And we see all kinds of Blue Jay fans and all kinds of Blue Jay t-shirts here this weekend. I don't know about you, like we always expect to see a lot of Blue Jay fans, and this is a weekend series, but there are a lot of Blue Jay fans here.
We heard some "Go Jays Go" chants last night, and they were getting pretty loud at one point.
Tied at 1 going to the top of the third. Zach Gallen, twice a top 5 finisher for the National League Cy Young Award back in 2022 and 2023, facing Ernie Clement, who pulls one through the left side for a base hit. That will bring up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and another one of the big stories coming out of the game last night. Remember, Guerrero suffered what appeared to be an injury to the index finger on his left hand. That finger is outside his glove, and Jorge Barroso, the runner, as he went by, Vladdy just had to reach for the ball, and his finger got ever so briefly tangled up in the jersey of Barroso, and the index finger got pulled back. everybody's done that at some point in their life. Everybody knows how that feels. Fortunately, it wasn't serious. I'm sure it was painful, but not too serious. He was able to stay in the game, and he's back in there tonight.
That is the most dangerous play there is for a first baseman. And I know you remember Cliff Floyd, an old teammate of mine with the Expos, and he had his wrist broken that way because you get in there by the runner and it just bends right back.
Well, John Schneider has told Guerrero, if you ever feel as the ball is coming towards you that you might be putting yourself in harm's way, reaching into the path of the runner, he has instructed Guerrero, pull your glove away, let the ball go down the line. That is better than risking a serious injury.
It'd be a very serious injury too, and you let the ball go because 1 out is just not worth missing him for 6 or 8 or more weeks. You always, as a first baseman, Vladdy had done that. His left foot was on the bag, his right foot was into fair territory. So you're trying to give the pitcher or the third baseman, whoever's fielding that, a good target inside the field of play away from the runner. But when the throw goes into the runner, very dangerous.
The lead by Clement. And the 0-2 to Guerrero is fouled off over the first base dugout into that sea of Blue Jays fans over there. Vladdy with a base hit in the first. That extends his hitting streak to a 9-gamer. It is also, or it was also, his 1100th career hit.
That was fast.
That was fast.
1,100 hits.
Lays off. 1,100 hits for Guerrero, who is a lifetime .289 career hitter. He's also an RBI away from 600 of those in his career.
When you get to the big leagues as young as he did, debuted at 20 years old. There's some pretty good milestones at the age of 27.
1-2. And it's hit to right center field. Thomas coming over to make the catch. Clement went about 2/3 of the way to second, but has to retreat 1 down. Ernie Clement looked like he was in a running mood, Joe.
Well, you wonder if he's not trying to time up Zach Gallen. I thought maybe Gallen with Del Castillo behind the plate tonight might be a tandem that the Blue Jays might try to run on. Could be Ernie, could be maybe a Jimenez, a Straw. We'll keep tabs on that, but you look like he's maybe trying to get a jump over there.
Ernie has 1 on the season. His career high is 12. Here's Jesus Sanchez. And Clement certainly has drawn the attention of the Diamondbacks. They are focused on him at first. Sanchez lined a base hit into center field for an RBI single in the first. In the past, you think of Ernie Clement as much more of a good base runner rather than a big-time base stealer. But maybe we'll see if, especially with a team struggling to score runs, if they push the envelope a little bit.
And as we have discussed over the last week or so, Sanchez not necessarily that pull guy that we have seen in the past. He's been staying more inside the baseball, like that base hit to center field his first time up. So you might not necessarily be taking that hole away if you try to be on the move here.
Outside, 2 balls and a strike. It's interesting, the third baseman Arenado is way off the line, about as far as the third baseman ever gets. But the second baseman Vargas is not plugging up that hole all that much. So obviously their data shows that Sanchez hits the ball up the middle more than he pulls it through the 3-4 hole.
You got to make sure you're able to get to that second base bag if a ball is hit to the left side to try to turn it. So you can't cover it all, but if you're Sanchez, left-handed hitters generally would love to try to hook that hole on the right side, but that's not been his swing plane lately.
A one-hopper to second. Vargas's only play after he recovers is to first. Clement into second, 2 down.
Looked like it took a little hop and popped up on him. There's a changeup. It sounded like he cued it more toward the end of the bat, that he was out front, but the way it popped up on him ate him up a little bit. Good job by Ernie going hard into second base, so the lead out wasn't available. Keeps him in scoring position.
For Eloy Jimenez, who struck out in his first at bat. That is hit hard but foul. The Blue Jays already have 5 hits in this game to just 1 for the Diamondbacks, but it is tied at 1 because, again, early on they have not taken advantage of the opportunities. 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position, went 1 for 7 last night.
What I was referring to in the open too is these guys, you know, you're down some of your big hitters, you kind of look in the mirror and say, I'm going to be the guy today. And we've seen little pieces of it with the leadoff single by Lucas, Vladi with the base hit, Sanchez with the RBI single, Straw gets a sacrifice bunt down.
Here's a high drive to deep center field off the bat of Jimenez, but it is caught 400 feet away by Alek Thomas. And it is still 1-1. Successful regular season in more than 10 years, and now it is time to see how far they can go in the playoffs. Should be a great series with the Lightning. You can see there are 4 games coming your way on either Sportsnet, Sportsnet 1, Sportsnet 360, CBC. Tomorrow, a ton of excitement in Sabres land about Buffalo being in the playoffs. 4 big games coming your way tomorrow. Tied at 1 going to the bottom of the 3rd here in Phoenix. Dan Schulman, Joe Siddall, Arden Zwelling, and Alek Thomas, the center fielder and number 9 hitter for the Diamondbacks, off to a slow start. As you can see, hitting just 130. Fouls it back, and Scherzer's out in front. 0-2. Thomas is a .230 lifetime hitter. Much better known for his defense, a 2-time Gold Glove finalist out in center. We just saw him run down that ball 400 feet away. You've got to have a good center fielder, good outfielders here. It's a big park. The gaps are big, and you've got to have guys who can run them down. And
when they can do that, they make it look pretty routine, don't they? I thought Eloy Jimenez really got that ball, maybe at least up off the wall.
Dalton Varsho played outfield here, played left, center, and right in his time. Also was a catcher for part of his time with the Diamondbacks, and he was telling us about some of the complexities of this ballpark. The metal fences down in the corners. You never know what kind of a carom you're going to get, and a ton of ton of ground to cover out in the outfield. A roller right to Clement at second, and Thomas retired. Again, Varsho, the news was, I think, about as good as it could be. It's actually a quad issue, a soft tissue situation in his quad that is kind of creating what the team called left knee discomfort. But there is no structural damage in the knee. Potentially available in an emergency tonight, and even if not, hopefully back in a day or 2.
And it sounded like it was something that was brewing with Dalton. Before the game, he had told John Schneider about it, which tells me right away that it can't be too serious. But early in the ball game, he kind of just came in and said, might sit this one out. So hopefully it's just today, and maybe even we see that bat later in the ball game.
Top of the order, Ketel Marte. Well, if you're ever looking for Varsho, just find Springer, and if you're ever looking for Springer, just find Varsho.
One's doing most of the talking, one's doing both of the listening.
Although, this is popped up by Marte, and in comes Guerrero. Woo! George Springer will tell you that there's behind closed doors, when the media aren't around, that it's a whole different relationship between these two. That may be in front of, in front of the public. George is the noisy one and Dalton's the quiet one.
See him complimenting Vladdy right here.
Yeah.
Never misses a beat. Oh.
But George will say, there's a whole other Varsho I got to deal with that you guys don't see. And there's a lot of debate as to who's the big brother and who's the little brother. George is older. But George is just a big kid, as we all know. Hoping he's back at the beginning of the homestand. Corbin Carroll pops it up in foul territory. Tracking it is Tyler Heineman, and he's got it. And how about Max Scherzer? His second consecutive 3-up, 3-down inning. In fact, he has set down the last 8. He is back again. On May 9th, the first 15,000 fans of the Rogers Center will receive a reversible Barbie bucket hat to complete their pink look. Celebrate all things Barbie with themed music, performers, and activities throughout the park. Grab your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. You're a bit of a bucket hat guy. I've seen you wear a bucket hat, haven't I?
I have to protect my ears. You know, you get the sun
Yeah, no, I
things,
hear you.
all those years in baseball, and you're exposed to the sun, so you got to protect those ears. So I like the Tilly hat.
Yeah, you
a
can,
little plug here. I'm
you
a
can
Tilly
pull it
hat
off.
guy. Yeah.
Andres Jimenez to lead off the fourth. It's all tied up at 1. Blue Jays trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Jimenez, a strikeout victim his first time up. Takes that one low. Zach Gallen, a free agent at the end of last season, but re-signed with the Diamondbacks on a 1-year deal. Just called his own pitch on his pitch com, as you can see. This is popped up wide of third. Arenado dodges the bag on his way into foul territory and makes the play.
Not ideal location there by Gallen with the changeup, but he'll take it. It worked. It was up in the zone.
Now Kazuma Okamoto, who had an excuse me base hit, a little check swing roller that got into shallow right field. Fastball catches the outside corner with the knees. It's 0-1. And a good sharp curveball drops into the knees. 1-2.
Throwing some good ones. It's a big break. Straight on down.
And Okamoto just got a piece of that to stay alive.
We said a lot of four seams and sliders. David Popkins and his hitting staff preparing these guys for what they're going to see from Gallen. And it's a lot of spin right now for Okamoto.
Another 1-2 pitch on the way. And it's a fastball down to the knees that is fouled off this time. So Okamoto's seen a little bit of everything in this at bat. And he got him. Again, good location with the curveball down and away.
Big swing, clearly fooled with the pitch. But he really falls apart. Look at the collapse there. Once he's done there, as opposed to the hitters, you like to see them really load up on that back hip and hang. And then when you're firing, but really allowing that ball to travel. You'll see the ball a little bit better, a little bit longer. If you pick up that spin, maybe you're able to lay off of that. It's a very good curveball. But if you pick up that spin early by staying back and seeing that ball, you identify that spin maybe a little better.
So you might take the pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As opposed to chasing because you're kind of bouncing all over.
How about Miles Straw? Hooks one into left for a base hit. Racing towards second and out. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. just threw out Miles Straw, trying to stretch a single into a double. Gurriel in his first game back with the Diamondbacks this year. Blue Jay fans saw this a time or two, and Straw is out at second. With another base hit, Straw is now 9 for 21, hitting .429 in limited at bats on the season. With 2 outs, hooks it into left and thinking 2 all the way, put the pressure on Gurriel to make a good throw, and Lourdes did.
I put the pressure on him any day of the week. He's a very good thrower. They know Gurriel very well. But when you have the speed of Miles Straw and you're coming out of the box thinking 2 like that, I like the play. The other thing is you've got the number 9 hitter coming up in Tyler Heineman. So if you want to play it conservatively, you can allow Heineman to hit, and then perhaps you turn that lineup over the next inning. But I like with 2 outs, that's when you do gamble. That's when you're going to take that shot. Gurriel made a good throw.
Meanwhile, Max Scherzer is having a good night. He has retired 8 in a row. The run came in the first on a walk, a stolen base, and then a base hit. And Max Scherzer is throwing a lot of fastballs tonight. He's right about 60% in fastball usage. That would be his highest in any game this year. Falls behind Geraldo Perdomo, 2-0.
And you would think that's a reflection of how he is feeling and how he feels about the ball coming out of his hand. Coming into this series, the Diamondbacks better fastball hitting team, not necessarily great in the breaking ball department, but he is challenging with his heater a lot tonight.
A 2-0 changeup in for a strike.
Keep an eye on that, though. That can change second time through the order as he progresses here.
His fastball velocity is right around where it was in his first and third starts. Remember, the second start is where we found out about the forearm tendonitis, and the velocity was a bit down in that one. This is hit to right field, and Lucas is going to have to play it on a couple of bounces. It'll be a leadoff single for Perdomo.
Similar pitch to what he hit in his first time up, but this time he turns on it. He gets the barrel head out. He comes out of his helmet to drive this ball into the right field corner. Tight turn. That's a good swing by Perdomo.
So a leadoff base hit. He's down there at first with Guerrero, and now here's Gurriel. It was Gurriel who popped up, and Guerrero made that great catch going down the right field line back in the first inning. The tentative plan is to play Gurriel in left field again tomorrow. Then the Diamondbacks have an off day. Then they'll reassess how he's feeling. They'd like to get him some DH days, but that is at least partially dependent on Ketel Marte being able to get back into the field. He's DHing right now because of some back tightness. In there, 1-1. Slider with the knees.
It's a good spot to be with that slider, keeping it down in the zone. Good tight spin that time.
Perdomo the lead. Not going. Fastball at the knees, and it's 1-2.
Max did a good job holding there, keeping that runner at bay. Held the ball a long time. When he stopped, that's when he delivered the ball home and hit the corner perfectly.
Gurriel using his timeout. A leadoff base hit for Perdomo here in the bottom of the fourth. And now 2-2 on Gurriel.
That's what Max will do. He's changing it up a little bit to Gurriel this at bat, starting with the 2 sliders. Then he comes back fastball changeup. That's what you have to do with dangerous hitters. You know, there's some power in that bat. You have to mix it up. Staying away this time.
Fastball down and in. It's full. And now we'll see what kind of a mood Torey Lovello is in. Does he start Perdomo?
Doesn't strike out a whole lot. It's a guy I think he will chase, but I think you put him in motion.
There he goes. Swing and a miss. Throw down the tag and safe. And Ernie Clement.
Got interference, I think. Jim Wolf's coming out in front of home plate. Batter interfered with Heineman.
So interference on Gurriel. And because Gurriel was already out on the strikeout, then what happens is the runner is out because of the interference.
Fell over the plate, and you see Tyler here. He's trying to make contact. You always want, as a catcher, to make contact with the hitter. There doesn't have to be contact made, but Tyler's hand did touch him. That increases the likelihood of you getting the call as a catcher.
So normally it would just be that the batter is out, but it was already strike three on Gurriel. He was already out, so then the runner is out. Torey Lavello wants an explanation. John Schneider is an interested party.
If you're interfered with and you still throw the runner out, you're going to get that caught stealing. That's what Torey's asking about right now.
First strikeout of the night for Max Scherzer. Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Buy 1 foot long, get one free with no delivery fee. Offer ends April 26th. Use the code to save on this Subway digital exclusive. So 2 down and the base is empty all of a sudden, and now a pop-up for Okamoto. And he'll make the catch in fair territory, and just like that, the inning is over. Another good one for Max Scherzer.
Up second here, and we've been discussing his vertigo diagnosis throughout the broadcast. He said something he's never experienced before, which is why this took a while to figure out exactly what was going on. Now, he's lost weight because of the nausea. He's had trouble driving. Vertigo can cause an unusual sensation in which it feels as if your surroundings are in motion when you're still. It can actually be difficult to shift visual focus from one spot to another quickly. It's difficult to track moving objects. This all explains why Lucas's 44% chase rate this season is such an extreme outlier for his career. It's believed this all originates from his ears, where there's tiny calcium carbonate crystals that can help the body regulate gravity and acceleration. Those have shifted out of place. So his primary treatment will be a series of head movements called the Epley maneuver. That helps guide the crystals back to where they should be. He's also taking medication, which he says is helping out a lot.
Arden, thank you. Arden has been...
Dr. Arden.
Yes, he has been doing a deep dive in the last hour or so. But we had a chance, Arden, you, me, Shai, all to speak with Nathan Lucas before the game. I think he's just mostly relieved that they know what it is, and they feel they know how to help him get better, and he is feeling better. The last couple of days have been his best days in a few weeks. I've never had it, but people who have had vertigo, I mean, it's no fun. And that's just your day-to-day life. Never mind trying to hit 97-mile-an-hour two-seamers and 91-mile-an-hour splitters.
And some players, and I wouldn't doubt Nathan Lucas is the type that you try to play through it. You're not sure what it is at the beginning, so you could be allergies you're thinking or something, so you just try to play through it, and you're all of a sudden you're kind of, wait a minute, this isn't me. So it took a while for them to solve this thing, but hopefully he is on the right path now. It certainly looks like the way he's been swinging it tonight.
Tyler Heineman lifts a fly ball to left center for the first out here in the top of the 5th. Well, plus if you're Lucas, your role, at least as of this point of the season, is different than it was last year. The arrival of Jesus Sanchez has made things a little bit more crowded, and Lucas not playing quite as much as he did last year. So when you're not playing as much and you're not being productive like you normally are, and you know what it is, that vertigo is at least part of the problem here. That's a lot going on at one time. One for 2 tonight. And another fly ball for Thomas. This one will take him back a ways, but he's got room. 2 down.
Catch every pitch with Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network and best 5G Plus network. Rogers, we got you.
The Blue Jays here in Phoenix, tied at 1 with the Diamondbacks. The Blue Jays 7-12 on the season, have lost 3 in a row. Here's Ernie Clement, 1 for 2, had a base hit his last time up, as he takes a belt-high fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Ernie hit a first pitch slider last at bat for that base hit.
No swing. Miles Straw, Brandon Valenzuela looking on. Valenzuela, you would imagine, would be in the lineup tomorrow for the day game, the finale of this series.
Ernie getting some good looks at those breaking pitches.
Being patient, not the easiest thing for him. He's up there hacking. He hacks here, and he hits it to deep left. And it's going to be over the head of Gurriel. And it'll be a double for Ernie Clement.
Well, that's what Ernie can do. He can wait you out. First pitch slider that he hit last at bat for a base hit. Gets a couple of breaking pitches after the initial fastball, but he gets another fastball from Gallen, and he's all over it, just missing, hitting this ball out of the ballpark.
The 7th hit of the night for the Blue Jays already, their first extra base hit. And with 2 outs and a man at second, here's Guerrero, 1 for 2. Guerrero lifts a fly ball to left, but not deep. Got it off the end of the bat. Gurriel is there, and the side is retired. Still tied at 1 through 4.5. Back to the studio for an update with Jamie Campbell.
Fans spend Mother's Day here at Chase Field. The first 15,000 moms to the D-backs Mets game on Sunday.
Experience game day your way in the outfield district. Your ticket unlocks general admission access to spots like the Corona rooftop patio and the WestJet flight deck. Available now for all games in April and May. Grab your tickets today at bluejays.com/outfield district. Whoa, that's a lot of popcorn.
Got all night, kids. Take your time. Oh.
There you go.
that's one way to get rid of it. Don't share with your sister.
That's style points right there. Go get them. Jose Fernandez, first pitch swinging, and he lines one into left for a base hit. It is tied at 1 here, bottom 5. Third hit of the night given up by Max Scherzer. And a leadoff base runner for the Diamondbacks.
There is a first pitch slider there, Max. They've been some pretty good ones tonight, but not that one, leaving it a little bit up to a good young hitter in Fernandez.
So now Arenado, who grounded out to short his first time up. Just missed, ball 1. Fernandez, the runner, a little bit of speed in his minor league days as Arenado waves at 1. Fernandez had a dozen steals at AA rather last year. We've already seen Corbin Carroll steal a base here tonight, and that led to the Diamondbacks' run in the first. Foul back, 1-2. I'm not sure Max can hear right now. Maybe he can. Yep, back on the rubber. So it looks like PitchCom is working.
May have bought himself a little time there. Things were really getting down there. His clock was getting down to 1, and he just spinned and fired over to first, maybe, rather than throwing the pitch.
There goes the runner. A one-hopper to short, a nifty play by Jimenez, but because Fernandez was running, the only play for Jimenez is to get the out at first.
This was very close to being a double play if Jimenez could have gloved this just a few feet in front of him, but just not enough air under this baseball. Picks the short hop. He knows it too.
That's what that look was.
Just missed it.
So a man at second with 1 out for Ildemaro Vargas, who lined out to right in his first at bat. Shows bunt and pushes it foul. Trying to catch Okamoto back at third and bunt his way aboard.
Well, he did catch him back for sure. I'm sure as a left-handed batter, you take a peek at that third baseman, he was way back. Good idea, just didn't quite execute. Torey Lovullo loves this style of baseball. This is the old National League style baseball that he was a part of at times.
inside.
Max said bunt that. If he's going to square again, that's a tough one when the ball's right at you. So you never know if maybe he was coming in there with reason.
Two balls and a strike. And a fastball there, 2-2. Vargas must have been looking for something else. It was got plenty of the plate. Pitchcom? Must be Pitchcom, yeah. Like Max just called his own pitch when he's got the transmitter on his glove like Gallen does, so he'll just push the button when he wants Heineman to know what he wants to throw. A look back, and now the 2-2, and it's hit way up in the air on the right side of the infield. Guerrero calls off Clement. He just didn't give Ernie any chance to catch that ball, and he's got a big smile on his face. Those two are all giggles whenever there's a pop-up between them.
And that's okay as long as the communication is good and someone takes charge, and that's exactly what happened there. He's calling it loudly and also waving him off.
So 2 down, and now the number 9 hitter, Alek Thomas. Grounded out to second in his first at bat. Fair ball. It hit the bag. It hit the bag and carried into foul territory. And it's an RBI double for Thomas. And the Diamondbacks have the lead.
Well, that is a tough break for Max Scherzer and the Blue Jays. It looked like Thomas was out front of this changeup and hooked it foul, but it clipped the first base bag. Right there. You could see the umpire was calling it foul. He realized right there, it just clipped the back corner.
Yep. So it is 2-1 Arizona. Top of the order now, Ketel Marte. And he lifts one to very shallow center for Miles Straw, and that will end the inning. But the Diamondbacks get a 2-out double to take a 2-1 lead. Fans, join us at the ballpark on Sunday, April 26th for a weekend afternoon of baseball as the Blue Jays host the Cleveland Guardians. First pitch is set for 1:37 Eastern Time. Grab your tickets at bluejays.com/tickets. This is game 5 of a 9-game road trip for the Blue Jays. 3 in Milwaukee, 3 here, 3 in Anaheim. Fly home Wednesday night, off day Thursday, and then the Guardians and the Red Sox are in town for a 6-game homestand. 2-1 Arizona, top 6. Jesus Sanchez 1 for 2, had an RBI single in the first. I know people have heard this story so much and they don't want to hear it, but again, the difference in this game right now is the Diamondbacks taking advantage of their opportunities better than the Blue Jays have taken advantage of theirs. The Blue Jays have had more opportunities. They've got 7 hits to 4 for Arizona. Arizona's 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position, including that Thomas double we just saw. The Blue Jays are 1 for 7, which is what they were last night. If you're not hitting home runs and you're not hitting with men in scoring position, it is awfully tough to score.
Remember that first inning when the Blue Jays scored 1 on the RBI single by Sanchez, but they still had 2 base runners on and back-to-back strikeouts by Eloy Jimenez and Andres Jimenez. They just could not add on that inning. It felt like that's the inning they could have broken out and maybe had a first big inning in a while.
I think just about everybody believes it's going to come, and part of that is when you start getting guys back like Springer and Barger and Kirk, as Sanchez fights off another one. And even last year For the first couple of months of the season, the Blue Jays were not a good team with runners in scoring position. And then from kind of June 1 on, they were the best team in baseball. It can change that quickly, but it just hasn't happened for them yet. I'll tell you, Jesus Sanchez, between the smile, like last pitch, I was worried he was hurt. Looking at it, was there something wrong with his back? And he's jumping around. He is so animated in the box. And the backswing, he got the catcher. He got Del Castillo on the backswing as he grounds out to second.
Sanchez feels bad that his big backswing got him, but it's a fastball on the inside part of the plate. As a hitter, you're pulling the hands in, and then he lets it go. As a catcher, you're going to catch that pitch on the inside part of the plate, so your body and head goes that way, and he got clipped pretty good wearing that goalie-style mask.
So one down. Here's Eloy Jimenez DHing tonight. Struck out at a big spot in the first with runners at first and second and one out. And then hit one about 400 feet to straightaway center in the third, but that's not enough to get it out of here. In the bullpen for the Diamondbacks, right-hander Ryan Thompson. Former Tampa Bay Ray. Sidewinder.
He's been good.
Jimenez out in front of it. Hit it pretty well, but foul down the left field line. An oddity about the Arizona bullpen. They don't have a left-hander. They have 8 righties in the pen.
Some reverse split righties that can get lefties out.
Grounded under the glove of Arenado at third and down the line. And Jimenez is going to be content with a single.
Well, this play was kind of in slow motion to see Arenado go for this baseball. And this, remember, is a 35-year-old, 14-year veteran. Gold glover, platinum glover, but that one just gets underneath the glove and into the left field corner.
So a 1-out single for Jimenez, the 8th hit of the night for the Blue Jays. And here's Andres Jimenez, 0 for 2. A long look down to Carlos Fablis, third base coach for the Blue Jays. Arenado in on the edge of the grass. Why do you think Jimenez is off to such a good start offensively this year?
He told me in spring training he's trying to get back to staying on the baseball a little bit better by staying in the middle of the field a little bit more. We know that he's got that power. Now he tells me that, but then all of a sudden he'll hit like a 95-mile-per-hour fastball middle in or inside off the plate, and he just turns on it. So I think what he's doing is staying in the big part of the ballpark more. That keeps your bat on, playing a little longer, almost stays inside the ball. And it's just off to a good start because the bat's in the zone. That's what you want. Now, when he has the pop that we've seen as well, it's a nice combo. Put that together with the defense that he plays. Get back on the fastball. #1 for a hitter.
Bounces it to first. Fernandez to second for 1 and back to first. Gallen covering for a 3-6-1 double play. Now the PA announcer started going into his between inning announcements. We didn't hear what Alan Porter, the crew chief, said, but certainly the fact that he faced the press box and looked like he was making an announcement, I am assuming that the Blue Jays challenged the play at first base.
Diamondbacks are all coming back on the field, so maybe they've already gotten word from underneath.
The Blue Jays have already had 1 successful challenge tonight. And Gallen's throwing a couple of warm-up pitches.
Now it's Eloy Jimenez who's still on the field, but it looks like they're looking at the play at first. Is his foot on the bag?
Did he lift his foot off? Looked like the throw beat him, but did his right foot come off the bag?
The call on the field's overturned. The runner is safe. Toronto will retain their challenge.
So the Blue Jays challenge room is having a good night. 2 for 2. And the top of the 6th isn't over just yet. It'll be a fielder's choice, and Jimenez will be at first with 2 down. And that'll bring up Kazuma Okamoto, 1 for 2. That is a foul ball. That is a foul ball. Well, Joe, Eloy Jimenez is at second, and Andres Jimenez is not at first. So again, we did not hear what Alan Porter said about why they were challenging, but this is what they were challenging.
Eloy was the guy staying on the field. He was hanging around the first base bag. That's what gave me the feeling that it was more about the play at second, and indeed it was. What a pickup.
So it's a 3-6-1 put out at first base, but Jimenez safe at second. And it's 0-1 on Okamoto. A big cut, and it's 0-2.
And you see where he's going with that cut. He's heading over to the third base dugout. Feel like a broken record. We keep saying this day after day, but Kazuma's going to have to stay on the baseball a little better.
And you can't blame Gallen for going down and away with a curveball on the very next pitch.
For sure, staying away.
The 1-2. Got a piece of it. Gallen right back to the curveball, down again.
And tonight it's more about down than it is away. We've seen teams pitch him away so much, and I'm sure David Popkins, you're trying to fill those holes when they were working him away a lot, and now it looks like they're working more down in the zone. And when you're pulling off the baseball, the bat is going into and out of the zone quickly, so working down with these breakers is a good idea.
Looking for a base hit to tie the game if possible. Jimenez, the runner out at second, does not have very good speed. That's Eloy Jimenez, not Andres. 1-2 again, and another foul off.
Well, he's trying hard to stay on it, but you can see as that move goes, it's almost into, up, and out of the zone. This is a daily project for hitting coaches, and he's got 13 projects on his hand. Everybody's different with the way their body moves, with where their strengths and weaknesses are in terms of their bat path.
Fastball, and he pulls it into left for a base hit. Jimenez is getting the wave. The Gurriel throw is up the line, and the Blue Jays have tied it. An RBI single for Kazuma Okamoto, and look how happy David Popkins is.
Gallen came back with a fastball finally after all the breaking pitches. The one thing Okamoto did is he kept the at-bat alive. He was fouling those breaking pitches off, so he was missing, but he was just close enough to stay alive. What did he do? He bought himself a fastball right down the middle.
And as a result, he ties the game here in the 6th inning, and he knocks Zach Gallen out of the game. Ryan Thompson coming in a 2-2 tie. And to become a 50-50 subscriber, you'll automatically be entered into every life-changing draw this season while enjoying subscriber-only perks, all while supporting kids in your community. Join thousands of fans who have already signed up. Visit BlueJays.com/5050 and become a subscriber today. Zach Gallen is out of the game. How important was that play out at second, as it turns out? And how big of a hit was that for Kazuma Okamoto? And now here is the side armor, Ryan Thompson, into the game.
Side armor, all right. Fastball will just be 89, 90 miles per hour, and there's a lot of sinkers and the odd slider.
Miles Straw, the first batter he will face.
You can tell with that arm angle, he gets a lot of ground balls. Has not given up an earned run yet this season, and his 7 2/3 innings of work.
Okamoto was out at second. He took second on the Gurriel throw home. Straw tonight has had a sacrifice, and then he had a base hit, was out trying to stretch it into a double. Oh, 2. Reaches for it and pokes it to shallow left field to Gurriel. And the Blue Jays are retired, but Okamoto with a big 2-out base hit to tie the game. Welcome back to Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. A couple of gorgeous days here in the Phoenix area. The Blue Jays and the Diamondbacks now tied at 2. A clutch 2-out RBI single by Kazuma. Okamoto has tied the game, and it's on to the bottom of the 6th. As you can see, Corbin Carroll is going to lead it off for the Diamondbacks, and Max Scherzer is still on the mound. 2 runs on 4 hits through 5 at 67 pitches. He has 1 strikeout tonight. If you were with us earlier, you heard us tell you that Scherzer came into the game 2 away from becoming the 11th pitcher ever with 3,500 strikeouts in a career. He's at 34.99 right now. Tied him up and popped him up. And it'll be Guerrero to make the catch. Just in foul territory, says Roberto Ortiz. 1 down. What do you like about what Max has done tonight?
I like the way he's handling these left-handers, especially. A lot of up and in. That one got in on his hands, and then with the righties, he's doing what he normally does best when he's at his best, and that's that 4-seamer across the top of the zone with a slider down, but much better spin, much better location when he's using it. Using the secondary pitches a little more the second time through the batting order.
He's had trouble with Geraldo Perdomo, who's got a couple of base hits and an RBI tonight. So John Schneider showing confidence in Scherzer. This is 3rd time through the order. And it's Carroll, Perdomo, and Gurriel, 2, 3, 4 in the Arizona lineup. But not only is Max on the mound, nobody's even up in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. And that's a fair ball. Pass to diving Guerrero. Perdomo on his way to second. And he's out. Nathan Lucas throws him out from right field.
Well, these are the ways that you contribute. It doesn't always have to be with the bat. Nathan Lucas fields this ball beautifully off the wall in right. And when he fires it to second, how about the tag by Andres Jimenez? He catches that ball out front, dives back, knowing he's trying to beat the runner to the bag, and he gets him. Good, accurate throw by Lucas.
Great play on both ends for out number 2. See the job Lucas did throwing out runners a season ago. And here's Gurriel, the only batter that Scherzer has struck out tonight. Lourdes is 0 for 2 in his return from the IL.
I thought Andres would wait maybe at the bag a little bit more.
I was going to ask you that. He took a step, definitively took a step forward.
But I wonder if he's not doing that to make sure he stays clear of the runner.
This is hooked to left and caught by Jesus Sanchez. And that is that. For the Diamondbacks here in the bottom of the 6th, Scherzer continues to pitch well and got some great work from his defense this half inning as well. It's still 2-2. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. When the Blue Jays get a hit in this winning inning, you could win amazing prizes courtesy of Rogers Beyond the Sea. So top 7, and it's tied at 2. This Blue Jays team, man, do they need a win? And again, they're down another body tonight after Dalton Varsho had to leave last night's game. Not in the starting lineup tonight. It's expected to be minor, hopefully just a couple of days. So you look at the lineup, and it doesn't look like your typical Blue Jays lineup. And again, they've left some guys out there. They do have 9 hits tonight, but they got a big hit from Okamoto in the 6th to tie the game. Here's Tyler Heineman leading off the 7th. They just need some high fives and smiles at the end of the game. I mean, it's not like like the Mets lost again tonight. They've lost 10 in a row. Blue Jays haven't lost 10 in a row. They've lost 3 in a row, but obviously it hasn't gone well, and nobody expected to be 7-12, and the injuries have taken their toll. Heineman with a fly ball to center. The first out. You saw Scherzer kind of up the steps, I think, leaning on the railing there. So that is as sure of an indication as you'll ever get that Max Scherzer is done.
Some more frustration here from Tyler. He knew he got a pitch right there that he was hoping to do something with starting off this 7th inning. We saw that last night when he got a curveball that was hanging at the top of the zone. He didn't get it.
And there is a lot of frustration among these 26 guys. So Scherzer done, as you can see, and a very strong effort for Max Scherzer tonight against a tough team. Some good hitters playing well. He goes 6 innings and gives up 2 runs on 5 hits. And Tyler Rogers will be in for the bottom of the 7th.
Well, and more so than anything, coming off his last 2 starts and the forearm issues and all, that seems like Max is right back where he wants to be.
Lucas takes a strike, and it's 0-2. So we got a side armor on the mound for the Diamondbacks and a submariner up in the pen for the Blue Jays. Thompson's no fun either. He's different than Rogers, but he's no fun.
He's tough on lefties, but he's really tough on righties.
Juan Murillo is up in the bullpen. Up the middle, a base hit for Lucas, his 2nd of the night.
Well, this is what John Schneider was talking about when he had let him off the other day. Nathan leading off again today, since he seems to be much improved in the health department. That's a really good sign for the Blue Jays, especially when they're down so many players. Varsho out again tonight.
1 on, 1 out for Ernie Clement, hitting in the 2 spot tonight, and Ernie's 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Lines it softly to short for the 2nd out. Lucas gets back. And that's going to bring up Guerrero, but it does not look like he's going to face Thompson. Was just about to tell you that Vladdy is 3 for 7 with a couple of homers in his career against Ryan Thompson. And it looks like Torey Lovello wants Juan Murillo to face Guerrero instead. So we will step aside, be back shortly here, a 2-2 tie, top 7 in Phoenix. Well, here's another way to illustrate what the Blue Jays do not have right now. Their top 5 RBI guys from a season ago. Bo Bichette's now a Met. George Springer, Alejandro Kirk, Addison Barger are all on the IL. So obviously that puts even more on the shoulders of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He knows that. 1 for 3 tonight with a base hit in the first. He would love to get the power stroke going. Speaking of power, here comes Juan Murillo and a 98+ fastball. Down and away for ball 1.
4-seamer, and he'll use a sinker to righties a little bit as well at 98.5 with that slider. So it's a 2-pitch, really, those 2 fastballs with that slider from the Diamondbacks right-hander, 2nd year in the desert.
Well, look at Lucas, the runner at first. Two 2-0. You know, it's funny, you know, there are so many good ways to analyze the productivity of hitters, whether it's weighted runs created plus or OPS, numbers like that. But boy, RBIs still have a place in the game, don't they? They're important.
Scoring runs is good, right?
And you got to do stuff right to get those RBIs. Swing and a miss, 2-1. But at the end of the year, you got a guy who knocked in 100. Chances are he had a really good year.
Yeah, and this is the situation too with the runner on first base that Vladdy's trying to find something for extra bases, find a gap.
Lines it foul, 2-2. 36,946 the announced attendance here at Chase Field tonight. Watching a 2-2 tie. Now a full count on Guerrero, which could help a little bit because now Lucas gets a head start from first. Jesus Sanchez would be next. Murillo the set. There goes Lucas, and the 3-2 is sent foul down the right side.
Good velocity from Murillo, and this is what Vladdy's up against. He's going to have to get it started early and be ready early enough that he can get to it. And it's a good swing. It's just it's really deep at 99. Problem is you commit too early, and if it's a slider, you're in big trouble.
3-2 again, and a swing and a miss at a fastball down in the zone to get him. 7th inning stretch in Phoenix, tied at 2.
Max Scherzer's day is done at 74 pitches. A nice little outing despite a lack of swing and miss for Scherzer. 6 innings, 5 hits, allows the 2 earned runs, only the 1 walk. Plenty of outs on balls in play. And Dan and Joe talked earlier tonight about how Scherzer had really struggled with spin in the zone so far this season. Hitters clearly hunting it. Looked like a little bit of an adjustment from him here today. Curveball was in the zone only 40% of the time. Slider was in the zone only 38% of the time. And yet, against all of those lefties Scherzer was facing, he got 4 outs with curveballs and sliders. Also got 3 with sliders against righties, Dan.
A very good outing, Arden. Thank you very much. A big step forward from the last one against the Twins. He hands it off to Tyler Rogers, making his first appearance since Wednesday. Adrian Del Castillo, the catcher, leads it off and taps it foul, 1-1.
And we talked about Max's fastball early on. First time through the order, he used the fastball a lot. And we're wondering if maybe it's because he wasn't spinning the ball as well, but he went to his secondary pitches a little more the second time through. So he really pitched tonight when you're not getting tons of swing and miss.
Pete Walker's got to be pleased. Just low, and it is 3-1. Rogers has pitched a lot in this ballpark. Most of his career has been as a San Francisco Giant. He has made 15 career appearances here at Chase Field. And he has popped up Del Castillo into shallow center. Straw is in, and it's that time of night where things could get a little tricky. Remember, the Diamondbacks had issues with a fly ball last night. We're getting to that time where you got to be helping your buddies out.
See Miles coming in, looked like he was on it all the way, but as a corner outfielder or an infielder going back, you're keeping an eye on that outfielder.
But did you see that big sigh at the end? He was telling you
not
that
fun.
Was, yeah, his eyes were wide open. His pupils were dilated tracking that fly ball. Here's Jose Fernandez to take a strike. I don't actually know if his pupils were dilated. I don't know what that means. His eyes were wide open. Got to be a lot of communication, a lot of covering for each other. Fernandez fouls it off, 0-2. Two tie, bottom 7. One more game tomorrow afternoon between these two. Kevin Gausman will get the start for the Blue Jays. 0-2, and it's poked to right. Right at Nathan Lucas. 2 down. Tyler Rogers usually is a ground ball specialist, but nothing wrong with soft contact in the air.
That's right. You get that slider out away from a right-handed batter, and he's just got nothing left but to flick it out there.
Been a good environment here. Ballpark has been terrific. The roof has been open. Crowds have been good. Here's more soft contact in the air. Off the bat of Nolan Arenado, Ernie Clement stays with it. Stumbled a little bit. Can of corn, says Ernie, never in doubt.
Had it all the way.
Yeah, cannot conceal the smile. Had the ball in his glove. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, it popped out and he barehanded it. It wasn't a stumble. It was a recovery. Way to go, Ernie. Tied at 2 at the end of 7. And time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Jamie Campbell and Jason Grilli. Underway here in the top of the 8th in a 2-2 tie at Chase Field. Jesus Sanchez leading it off for the Blue Jays, with Juan Murillo still on the mound after he got Guerrero via the strikeout to end the 7th. Back out there to start the 8th. Chops one towards first. Fernandez, the toss. Murillo steps on the bag, 1 down. Diamondbacks bullpen has been very good the last couple of weeks as they've gotten hot. In the Blue Jays bullpen, both Louis Varland and Jeff Hoffman. So we'll see how John Schneider plays it. Eloy Jimenez the batter. Jimenez 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 6th.
Does Rogers go back out? 8-9 in the order?
I don't think so.
No. Rarely does he go more than one
Yep.
inning. He has, but
Two runs, 10 hits, and 1 error on the Blue Jays. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Diamondbacks. And another ground ball. Arenado charging, bare hands, and does not get him. Jimenez beats it out.
well, this ball was chopped up that third base line, but we saw Arenado struggle to his right earlier. And this one, he's coming in and he really breaks it down, bare hands it, gets a good strong throw off, but it took him a long time to break down in front of that baseball. Eloy sniffing that base hit right out of the box. It took a while, slow developing, but he'll take the knock.
But he is out. Now Davis Schneider is running for Jimenez. Representing the go-ahead run, here is Andres Jimenez. Who is 0 for 3 tonight. So, of course, normally in a spot like this, you might have Miles Straw on the bench, and he could be your pinch runner. But with Varsho out, Straw in center, they're essentially playing a man short, and they don't have the speed of Straw in the dugout, so it'll be Schneider. 0-2 on Jimenez. How about Davis Schneider drawing a throw? Hits now for the Blue Jays. 10 singles and a double. Jimenez with 2 of those hits. The 1-2, a check swing by Andres Jimenez, 2-2.
It's a good take by Jimenez on that breaking ball. When you're dealing with triple digits fastballs, you have to commit early. He's able to hold up.
Schneider the lead, and the 2-2 is hit in the air to left field. Gurriel coming over, has plenty of room, makes the play for the second out, and that'll bring up Kazuma Okamoto, and it is Okamoto's hit back in the 6th that tied this game. A very good at bat, as you talked about so well, fought off a number of curveballs, bought himself a fastball, came up with a big hit for both him and the team. And who likes it more than David Hopkins?
Now the hitting coaches, of course, spending so much time with these hitters. I can't imagine the hours in the video room and in the batting cage and all the places they do all this work and prep to see it pay off.
First pitch swinging, sends a fly ball down the right field line. He was geared up for the fastball, a little bit late on it, and he sends it into the seats. 0-1.
Well, this is a bat the Blue Jays would certainly like to see get going, and not just get going, but get going with some power. That is why he is here.
30 or more homers 6 different times in Japan. An impressive power in spring training, and then 2 early home runs in the first week of the regular season. Just upstairs, it's 1-1. Schneider the lead, 2 down. Swings through a high fastball, 1-2. That was 100.
Yeah, he's hit some triple digits.
And Schneider draws another throw. He's going to be bragging about that after they were so worried about me.
You can really brag if Okamoto hits an RBI double here.
Yeah. Kevin Ginkel up in the D-backs pen. And a swing and a miss. Murillo right back with the heat, and he gets Okamoto. And it's on to the bottom of the 8th in a 2-2 tie with Jeff Hoffman coming in.
James Wan and Blumhouse bring you a new terrifying horror in Lee Cronin's The Mummy, now playing only in theaters.
Back here at Chase Field, lots to do for baseball fans of all ages. It is a tight one. 2-2, bottom of the 8th inning, and John Schneider has called on Jeff Hoffman here in the bottom of the 8th to face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the Diamondbacks lineup. You and I were talking about it during the break. I would caution people before jumping to conclusions about, has anything changed to the bullpen? Does this mean there's a change? Hoffman has not pitched in the last 3 days. He was going to pitch in this game no matter what. Now, why both he and Varland were up, we don't know exactly. I guess maybe if they had taken the lead, Varland would have come in. But Hoffman is in. But I think, you know, we've heard John Schneider say many times they don't want Hoffman to sit for too long. So this might just be a kind of a rest versus rust situation. There's a ground ball, weakly hit, but up the middle, a base hit for Vargas.
There's a splitter up in the zone, but this ball just had eyes, a ground ball that finds the middle of the field.
A seeing eye single, as they say. And now will Torey Lovullo with his number 9 hitter Alec Thomas up. This seems like a fairly obvious spot given the score in the inning for a bunt.
Make sure you get an out.
Ball 1.
I think this has more to do with Jeff Hoffman seeing the bottom of the lineup. It is going to turn over because it's 8-9-1, but for me, in a tie ball game, in a game that you desperately need to have.
Base hit into left for Thomas. And it's first and second, nobody out.
But in a tie ball game, there won't be a 9th inning if you don't get out of the 8th inning. And that's why I was a little surprised at this. What we've seen in the past is this was Louis' inning because the game is on the line. It's a tie.
So you think it's more Hoffman because 8 and 9 were coming up?
If the Blue Jays were up a run and you went to Varland and Hoffman, then you know that nothing's changed. But because it's a tie ball game, I think there's a message here. And I think Louis is that closer, but you have to get through the 8th inning first.
It's first and second, nobody out, and now here comes the top of the order, Ketel Marte, who is 0 for 3. Ball 1 to Marte. Vargas, the lead runner at second. Thomas, the runner at first. And the 1-0. Up and away, ball 2. And not close. It's 3-0. Nervous moments for Blue Jays fans here at Chase Field. Corbin Carroll on deck. The Diamondbacks trying to take the lead. Ball 4 through a 3-0 splitter and missed down and in. The bases are loaded with nobody out.
Well, now it's going to be Varland as quickly as possible.
Varland was up before, gets up again.
It should be pretty quick. Louis should be ready very fast. When they were both up last inning, and again, I think if the Blue Jays take that lead, they may have gone to Hoffman and then saving Varland for the save. But I think the fact that this game stayed tied, that's where I thought we would see Varland, because you got to get to that 9th inning.
Pete Walker out to buy some time for Varland, but Hoffman's got to face Corbin Carroll. Well, it's now Nance and Fluharty. Varland looked like he was getting up,
wow,
but now it's Nance and Fluharty.
Something wrong with Louis, perhaps.
Infield in, bases loaded, nobody out, and the always dangerous Corbin Carroll is the batter. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Up and away, it's even at a ball and a strike. The 1-1. Up and in with a fastball, ball 2.
Certainly has not had his command. Like he's trying to come in with the fastball, but it just took off on him.
Two and 1 the count. Outside, ball 3.
Having trouble finding the zone with everything.
Yeah. Up and in with a fastball, outside with a splitter. Fastball hit in the air, deep left field. Grand slam. And it is 6-2 for the Diamondbacks. Got a fastball down the middle and took it to the opposite field for his 3rd home run of the season. And the tough times continue.
Not much else you can do when you fall behind. 3-1. Bases are loaded. You have to come into a very dangerous hitter. And Carroll is ready for it.
(0-2) on Geraldo Perdomo. Another look at the home run for Corbin Carroll.
Nothing really around the zone at all, so Corbin Carroll can just zone in, and he zoned in right down the middle and got a heater that he could handle. Tough times for Jeff Hoffman, and this is where John Schneider and his staff, they've really got to come to a decision here. I thought in a leverage situation like this with the game tied, you have to go with your best. Right now we know that's Louis Varland, and that's why it surprised me to see Jeff come out in the tie game in the 8th. Now it's one thing to have, if there is going to be a changing of the guard, you can take the lead and then go with Louis because he's your best, and then Jeff Hoffman's still the save. But if you're going to change it around, you've got to have the lead first. You've got to get to that 9th inning.
Swing and a miss to get him. And again, we don't know obviously what factored into the decision. Was it where they were in the order? Was it rest versus rust, as we talked about, because Hoffman hadn't pitched in a few days? There's no way to know. Obviously, John Schneider is going to be asked after the game, but 2 tough ones in a row for Hoffman, the one in Milwaukee and the one here. Here's Lourdes Gurriel Jr. A pop-up for Jimenez. Circling underneath it, and he makes the catch for the 2nd out. And a lot to unpack too, right? Because it looked like Varland was then getting up, although Hoffman was still, he had to face Carroll no matter what at that point. It looked like Varland was getting up, then he sat back down. We don't know why. Then all of a sudden Anson Fluharty got up, but Adrian Del Castillo.
There certainly doesn't look like there's anything wrong with Louis there, but you don't know. When they're warming up, did something tweak where he said, I can't go? So post game is going to be very interesting tonight. And you know what's also hard to navigate is a team that's just not scoring runs. Your closer scuffling. I mean, when it rains, it pours, and that's what it's doing on the Blue Jays right now.
It is pouring from all directions on this team right now.
There are just no levers that you can pull as a manager or a pitching coach when your closer is struggling the way Jeff is right now. And it's happened before, and they've gotten through it. And that's all you can hope, is that he can get through this patch. They're going to need Jeff Hoffman if they're going anywhere this year.
2-2 the count on Del Castillo. Those expressions, that pretty much sums it up right now. Those 2 guys are going through it as much as anybody. Trying to push the right button, and it's just not working often enough right now. Strike 3 call to end the inning, but the Diamondbacks will take a 4-run lead to the 9th. Corbin Carroll with a grand slam. And it's on to the top of the 9th here in Phoenix, with the Blue Jays now down 6-2. The Sportsnet Plus City TV Plus bundle has all the heavy hitters with Blue Jays, other MLB games, plus hit shows from the biggest networks in TV. Bundled today at sportsnetplus.ca. The Blue Jays now looking at a 4-run deficit heading to the top of the 9th inning. They're down 6-2 and staring at their 4th consecutive defeat. Unless they can rally here, Kevin Ginkel is on for the Diamondbacks in the 9th.
8 games for Ginkel this season, an ERA just under 6. He has certainly had some struggles of his own, but they're calling upon him to try to end this thing after the big grand slam by Corbin Carroll.
Jorge Barossa is now out and left, taking the place of Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and it'll be Miles Straw leading it off for the Blue Jays. Straw 1 for 2 with a sacrifice tonight. After Straw, it is Tyler Heineman and then Nathan Lucas. Bounce to third. Arenado's got it. 1 down. The Diamondbacks doing what they have done very, very, very well the last couple of weeks, as we talked about earlier, taking advantage of their opportunities. 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight, including the biggest hit you can get, a grand slam from Corbin Carroll. The Blue Jays have out-hit them 11-8, but they haven't had the clutch hits and they don't have the home run like the Diamondbacks have had. And a strike to Heineman, who is 0 for 3. Appeal, he went, and it's 0-2. Okamoto's base hit in the 6th tied it, and it stayed that way until the bottom of the 8th when Corbin Carroll hit the opposite field grand slam off of Jeff Hoffman. Two down. One more game to come in this series. It's a day game on a Sunday afternoon, a little bit later obviously because of the time zone here. 3:30 Eastern, Blue Jays Central. First pitch at 4:10 Eastern. 1:10 here locally. Kevin Gausman will be on the mound. Right-hander Brian Nelson for the Diamondbacks. Blue Jays down to their final out as Nathan Lucas steps in. Lucas 2 for 4 tonight. And Lucas with a 3-hit night. Boy, he wasn't kidding when he told us before the game that he's starting to feel better after dealing with vertigo. They've got him on meds that are really helping him, and he's seeing the ball better.
Well, you try to find a positive anywhere you can on a night like this, and I think it's got to be Nathan Lucas. The way he is seeing the baseball, that's a very good sign for him.
So that'll bring up Ernie Clement, who's 2 for 4 with a single and a double.
$11-12 hits now for the Blue Jays, but Ernie's double, the only one for extra bases, and the issues with runners in scoring position persist.
They've had a hit in every single inning tonight. But as we said earlier, if you're not hitting home runs and you're not hitting with men in scoring position, it's really, really, really hard to score runs. They've got 7 runs in their last 4 games. And it'll be 4 losses unless they can mount a major comeback here. And Clement strikes out to end the ball game. The Diamondbacks make it 2 in a row and hand the Blue Jays their 4th consecutive defeat. The Blue Jays dropped to 7-13 on the season. Corbin Carroll with the decisive blow, the grand slam at the bottom of the 8th.
There is no solution to something like this for the Toronto Blue Jays. Nobody saw this coming to start the 2026 season, but here we are, and those guys in that clubhouse are the only ones that are going to be able to rectify this before they get any of their players back from injury. Not a lot of fun. These are the toughest times for big league players, but they're going to have to look at each other and try to figure this out.
And they will try to come out and get it going early tomorrow against the Diamondbacks. They've got Kevin Gausman on the mound trying to salvage the final game of the 3-game series. We will see you tomorrow afternoon, but right now it's time for Blue Jay Central. Once again, here are Jamie Campbell and Jason Grilly.